My father was self-employed, actually had a telemarketing firm for a number of years, which I worked at throughout high school. He was a very religious individual. He was absolutely the father of the family. What he said went, that's for sure. He was a very loving father, had not had the benefit of college education himself, but was very prideful when all 6 of his children ultimately graduated from college. He was diagnosed with leukemia. Now, mind you, 3 of my siblings were still in high school and so still living at home. He went into remission, was in remission for a couple of years, and then ultimately his leukemia came back. We were Catholic, and he had sought his care through St. Vincent's here in Birmingham. It was at a time when he had lost his health insurance because pre-existing conditions were a real thing, and he struggled to get health insurance not only for himself, but for his family. So while he had health insurance, it wasn't very good. It wasn't going to pay for a lot. He was in the hospital and ultimately died at St. Vincent's Birmingham, or what is now UAB St. Vincent's Birmingham, and we were all gathered around, of course, as you would hope that you would be. But within a matter of hours, as we were exiting the hospital, my mother did have to go to the business office to try to settle up. My mother wrote a check for $5,000, and when she came back to where the rest of us were, she told me that she had done that and that she didn't have $5,000. That was hard to hear. And I asked if I could go back to the office, and I did, and I asked for the check back. I explained that my mother didn't have $5,000. I asked if I could talk to them about a charitable care program for my mother, who was now widowed with 3 children at home. And they allowed me to do that. They allowed me to come back a week or a couple of weeks later, I don't remember the exact, and I spoke at the age of 24 to a committee. And they let me come back, and I spoke to a committee at the age of 24 on behalf of my mother and my siblings, and that's UAB St. Vincent's. They approved the care for free, understanding that my mother could not pay the balance of that bill, which was tens of thousands of dollars, through no fault of her own, through no fault of my father. But that was so important, and I've subsequently told that story at UAB St. Vincent's to the individuals who are there who would still approve charitable care like that in the same way that UAB does as well. So when we talk about the missions, the combining of the mission of UAB Medicine and UAB St. Vincent's, for me, this is a true personal story. St. Vincent's was a mission of a religious space, and UAB's is a mission of education. But where those 2 missions meet is in the charitable care that we provide to patients. That we truly do provide care, as does UAB St. Vincent's, to all individuals, regardless of your financial situation, your insurance status. That's what we're here for, and that's where those 2 missions came together.